little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm 54 years old, and you're supposed to say, oh, you don't look near that old. But I'm 54, I'm a preacher's kid, and I've been singing since I was 5. And this is all I've ever wanted to do. I grew up, my dad wanted me to be a preacher, and I've done a lot of preaching, and I enjoy preaching. But I've never felt God's calling on my life to do that like I do singing. So this is what I love to do, and I'm just a normal guy. I get up and I cut my grass every week, and I landscape, and I do honey-do list, and anything else that needs to be done.
When did you get saved?
I got saved when I was 15. I had grown up in church. My dad got saved when I was 3, and he became a preacher when I was 5. And over the years, I had made a profession of faith, but it was just a head knowledge thing, you know. I actually had taught the adult Sunday school class as a teenager on how to win souls, on how to lead people to the Lord. But at 15, I had kind of reached a point in life where I felt like I knew more than my dad, and had made up my mind I was going to straighten him out. And during that conversation, he just looked at me and he said, "Son, have you ever really been saved?" And I remember it like it was yesterday. We were in our living room of our house and went through the Romans road, and it was I could quote every verse. But for the first time in my life, I meant it from my heart, and that's what it said. So May of 1979, 78, somewhere in there. 78, I guess. Or no, 79. Yeah, when I was 15.
When did you start singing Southern Gospel?
Well, I've been singing since I was 5, but I sang in quartets when I was a teenager, just a young boy. I sang tenor. And so I don't know if I can pinpoint an actual age, but I started singing full time in 2004. I've been singing for years. So.
What is your favorite song to sing and why?
Oh, well, my favorite song to sing or my favorite song, because those are two different. My favorite song we don't sing, and that would be "Going Home" by Bill Gaither. I've always, when I heard George Johnson sing it as a kid, I've just always loved that song, and I love to sing it, although we don't sing it. But of the songs that we sing, I enjoy all of them. I'm a kid living a dream, but I probably, if I had to pick one, it would be "Thanks to Calvary."
If you weren't a singer, what would you be?
Homeless, probably. No, I've done a little bit of everything over the years. I've worked in factories. I was a manager at Waffle House. Delivered furniture. I've done a little bit of everything. Construction. I don't know, if I wasn't singing, if I could make a living at it, I would want to be a professional golfer. I love to golf, but probably something outdoors. I love being outside.
What is one of your favorite memories singing with Trammell Quartet?
Believe it or not, even though it just happened tonight may be one of the most memorable for me. When we started singing the last song, "I Wouldn't Take Nothing for My Journey Now," just watching the crowd interact with us, and the fact that Mark just got notified that he's being elected or inducted into the Hall of Fame, all of that kind of hit me tonight. So tonight will be one of them, but it's just hard to pinpoint one because I've had some great memories already. I've never been happier. They treat me great. So.
Who are some of your biggest musical influences?
My biggest influence is George Johnson. But when I was growing up, I loved George Johnson, Rex Nealon, and basically those two, and I'll tell you why. Because to me, they were just great singers. They weren't growlers. I never heard them growl a bunch of low notes. when they were very capable of it, and I'd be lying if I said that I didn't enjoy that. But I loved that they were just great singers, and that's who I try to mimic after, would be those two.
What is something most people don't know about you?
That I'm part Cherokee Indian. I'm a registered Cherokee Indian. On my mother's side, and I'm very proud of that.
What do you like to do in your free time?
Golf and yard work. But my favorite thing to do is spend time with my wife.
And lastly, what is some advice you'd give to a young person wanting to sing Southern gospel?
If you had asked me that 20 years ago, it would have been a different answer. But now that I'm older, looking back, this is what I tell young people. You have to understand and believe the message of the song, or you will never be able to deliver it properly. So focus on the message of the song first. All of the musical side and the technical side of singing has to be done beforehand. And that's very important. And there's schools you can go to that we teach in, and I'm very big on that. But the single most important thing you can do in our music is to deliver the message of the song. And you cannot do that if you don't believe it and you don't understand it. But it's like telling a story. If you think about your favorite story that you ever heard as a child, if I were to ask you to repeat that favorite story, you would be animated. You could tell me that story both with your face and with your body expressions. A song is the exact same way. So when you see a singer truly get excited about singing about heaven, that's because it's real to them. You know what I mean? So.
Thank you for doing this.
All right. Well, thank you. It was very, very much awesome.
Is that way music now?